Hey, what's going on, everybody? I know it ain't been but maybe about a year since I've been on here, but Mandy let me get a new camera, so I figured I'd try it out. I know this is YouTube, and not everybody has to be professional at it, so I know I'm definitely an amateur, so y'all bear with me while I try to figure this thing out. I think the last video I made was a trip to Birmingham for an MRI. And since then, we've made another trip to Birmingham for an MRI, and it was pretty much the same results. Nothing has grown, nothing has gotten smaller, so it's just further confirmation that her tumor is pretty much dead in its tracks, and I don't think it's nothing we're going to have to worry about for the rest of our lives. But her disabled condition is still the same, and unfortunately, we haven't really done much in the way of exercise or trying to get her stronger and more capable, but life has continued on nonetheless. Even in the midst of this pandemic, our life has pretty much stayed the same. My job required me to go to work. I wasn't having to stay home. It's been pretty much business as usual since it happened, with the only exception of being church. Our church had to shut its doors and start having services online and through Zoom meetings. That's the only downside of it all, because we haven't been able to go to church and be with our fellow Christians and enjoy the fellowship. But we are thankful that we can still receive a message from our pastor and worship in our living room. So part of that's been enjoyable, but also we still miss our church family nonetheless. One of my short ventures that I took on that kind of took me away from being able to create anything for YouTube was I started online schooling through an opportunity that my employer provided. But I did that for maybe 6 months, and I had to take a break from it because it was quite demanding. It required a lot of time, and that caused a sacrifice from being able to care for Mandy the way that I used to be able to care for her, and also maintaining the household. So it was a bit of a distraction. I was looking forward to it, but it just started becoming too difficult. So I suspended that operation. I'd love to get back into it, but for the foreseeable future, I'm just going to keep trucking along the way I was beforehand. Some of the difficulties we faced throughout these few months: my lawnmower blew up, lost the engine in it, and for most people that wouldn't be a big deal, but it was a costly event for me because I didn't want to spend money on something used and the same thing happened. And I don't have enough money to go buy a brand new lawnmower. A new lawnmower would have cost more for less equipment than what I already have. So I took a leap of faith and bought another motor, same brand name, but it was a little bit different, and I installed it on my existing lawnmower. And so far it's worked fine. So I was blessed in that area, and I say blessed, part of me feels lucky for pulling that operation off, but yeah, that worked good, so happy with that. A few things with the house and the vehicles. We've had a spot on the front of our house where the soffit vent was rotting out, so we're having a fellow work on that today. We want to get that fixed and out of the way. And Mandy's car has had a couple of little issues. We had to buy a pair of tires for it that was not expected. Had a puncture in one, and the other one was showing some wear, so we had to get some tires. And also the car has developed a coolant leak, and it isn't something that leaks out real fast, but I have to keep an eye on that, and I just have to take the time to address that issue and fix it. So any little thing that happens around here kind of takes on a crisis effect for me, because I have to consider how much money it's going to take, how much money we've got, how much time it's going to take, and whether I have enough time to work on it and finish it to completion within one work session, rather than something stretching out for several weeks at a time. So there's been a few things happening around here that have caused us to focus on that issue really hard where everything else around us goes to the wayside. Another major event was this pergola that's behind me. I had a harebrained idea that I was going to refurbish it and thought it was just going to take maybe a weekend to do it, but it ended up being a several week operation and costing a few $100s. But I sanded it down and put some stain on it, and I wanted to put some sort of a roof over the top of it that was light and inexpensive, so I ended up getting some polycarbonate roof material and I put it up there. So it ended up being a pretty difficult operation just for me, because it was in the middle of the summer in the blazing heat, and I'm not in the best of shape anymore, so it kind of took a lot out of me. But I was very happy when it was finished, quite pleased with how it turned out, and it was actually a positive note on how things have been going for us over the last year. So all in all, everything's been pretty good. We just hadn't been very productive, but we're blessed and healthy nonetheless. I'm not sure when we'll be able to do any exercise videos again, but for the time being, I figured maybe I can shed some light on the caregiver spouse point of view. If you've made it to the end of this video, I want to appreciate you for stopping by and watching. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I'd please ask if you'd do that and hit the bell notification so it'll let you know whenever we upload a new video. Thank you for coming, and y'all have a good day.